We'll go live right at 3 o'clock. This is a test. If you can hear and if you can see this video, give me a thumbs up so we'll know that you can hear us.
Good afternoon. Appreciate everyone tuning in today, and lots changed since yesterday. The governor did sign the law and order as far as the shelter at home, shelter in place, and many of you know that. Some of those who have not read it or not seen it, it's on our website. You can pull that up and read through that. I've had a lot of calls, a lot of calls yesterday, and a lot of calls today, pertaining to it. And we do have, we have answered most of the questions. And so if you, if you feel free to call us if you do have any questions. At the end of this, when we finish up today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go ahead and have a, be thinking of any questions that you do have, because we'll take, at the end of it, we'll take 5-10 minutes, whatever it takes. And if you have any questions for myself or Alex or the Sheriff's Department or City Police, we have the Chief of Police here from City, and just feel free to actually send that to Carrie, and Carrie will relay it to us, and we'll answer it here before we leave today. So be thinking of that as we go through today's update. We do have we got 5,831 confirmed cases now in Georgia. Yesterday at this time we had 5,348. We do have one in Dade County, and I want you to pray for that family because she did pass away today. And so that's a sad thing. But we have 3 in Walker County confirmed, 6 in Catoosa, 3 in Chattooga, 15 in Whitfield, 77 in Floyd County, 21 in Gordon County, 154 in Bartow, and we've got 184 deaths, up from 163 yesterday in 24 hours. So that's just to keep climbing. Tennessee, they have 2,845 confirmed cases. That's up from 2,239 yesterday, so they did have an increase today. 63 in Hamilton County, 13 in Marion, 8 in Grundy County, 2 in Sequatchie County, 2 in Meigs County, 18 in Bradley, and they have 32 deaths total in the state as of today. Also, they have 220 recovered, and I hope we can start in Georgia before too long. We can start getting some of these numbers back from Georgia, but at this time we do not have any numbers back from the officials here in Georgia. Alabama, they have 1,336 confirmed cases. That's up from 1,116 yesterday. Have 12 in Jackson, 8 in DeKalb, and so far statewide they have 21 deaths in the state of Alabama. So that's the numbers keep increasing. Had a couple of things here that I had a call from the bank a while ago, well, both banks really, and someone had put out a rumor that the ATMs were going to be closed at 6 o'clock throughout, but that's not true. So they wanted to really confirm that and let people know that's not what's happening. There was some things mentioned in the governor's different things mentioned about the keypads, different things mentioned there, but that's for the cleanliness. That's actually they're recommending to use the little what do you call it, Carrie? The little things on the end of the pencil, the pens, stylus. If you've got that, they're just trying to keep people from actually transferring germs that way. And there was also mention about the cards and all that you use. There's a lot you can read in this this docket here and see the things that are mentioned, but it just comes down to common sense, because you are as far as touching, and then you may have had someone that before you that might possibly be a carrier that touched the pad, even at Walmart or anywhere that you've got to key in a number. So just think about that. Let me see my notes here. I did get just information a little while ago, and I think this is posted now, probably on the news. But all Tennessee parks, the governor did close them down a short while ago, and I don't know that that's going to happen in Georgia. We have submitted that last night that we voted on to actually asking the governor to close our local park, which was Cloudland Canyon State Park. Probably won't hear an answer from him until Monday. I'm not sure yet, but that's something that we feel that as a commission, and I think the majority of the county feels that it needs to be shut down at least through the end of April. So hopefully he'll follow the course of the Tennessee and other governors, and even the federal government, because of the federal parks. From what I understand, they've all shut them down. Let's see here. I mentioned the question and answers at the end. Here's a few questions, that we get. We've gotten a lot of calls on, and people are, and they're common questions. It says, "Can I go to the grocery store?" Yes. Your doctor's appointment, for sure. Keep your doctor's appointments. My children, can I take my children to their parents or grandparents? Yes. That's something, and we've had a lot of calls out of state and in state too. People that actually meet and exchange children that have custody orders, and so that's definitely that will not interfere with that at all. I don't think that you're going to be, if you are questioning, it would be good to have that order, just a copy of it in your car. But I don't think anyone's going to doubt your word on that. So the answer to that question, yes, it doesn't matter what state you're coming to, because a lot of them, those people, they meet here at our gazebo and central points in Trenton. So that does not phase that. And no, the state lines are not closed down. I thought that was the first call I got yesterday. I thought that was somebody kidding, but they're not, because we had a lot of calls. Had two just a little while ago, and mainly it's people there in Alabama or Tennessee, and they've kind of heard the rumors that the state lines will be closed down. And right now they're not. It's just you need to go online and read this, and you can understand how Georgia's read. Can I work across the state line? Of course, there and back. That's a necessity. So if I live in Alabama and Tennessee, can I come into Dade County to buy groceries? Of course, that's true. But anyway, we'll have a like I said, some questions, and we'll try to answer your questions at the end of this. We've got several people here. We've got, of course, Alex is here. We have Christy Smith here today, Chief of Police of Trenton. We got the Sheriff's Department Representative Tommy Bradford here. I guess you're going to represent the Sheriff's Department, right? Yeah. Okay. And we have also William Back. He's from our IDA, and he wants to give us a little update on our industrial park, and because that'll be interesting, because I've had several calls about that, about the people, whether they're still going to be able to work and all that, and what's going on in industrial park. So hopefully William can give us a little update on that. Right now, I'll get Alex up here, Mayor Trenton, and our EMA director, and let him give his report, and then we'll move right along.
Thank you, Commissioner. Again, I'm Alex Case, Director of Dade County Emergency Service, and also the Mayor with the City of Trenton. And a couple questions that's come in as Commissioner Rumley was up about the death of our COVID patient, and I would say that with our as the families get notified and based on HIPAA, we'll be able to release that once it is that information. But please just pray for that family, and hopefully for their thoughts and prayers, and comfort of that. This is just happening later today. Our coroner's office was notified, and once that is done, we're still limited to what we can and can't do for the rights of that patient and that family. Even though it is a pandemic, it's still a virus type death, no different than a A and B flu type test as well, but it is a more aggressive type virus, and that's one of the things we got to continue to do, is to clean our surfaces, keep our hands washed, even things that we do throughout. But again, a lot of questions are coming into us all over. Commissioner Rumley mentioned that we're going to hold some questions from viewers, and I guess through online here with Facebook Live and what it is. And we're still learning as well. There's things that the Sheriff's Office and Police Department will give updates on that we just found out no more than 30 minutes ago, as things are changes and questions. ACCG, Georgia Municipal Association, is helping the cities and counties help understand this and being proactive to help you. Again, we reemphasize that we're trying to slow the curve down to keep ventilators available at the hospitals, hospital beds available for the sick that needs it, and staying in place for these 10 days. It's this weekend starting tonight, then all next week till next Sunday, to try to slow this down. A lot of non-essential businesses have been contacted, and people are calling and asking about that. Most of those have already taken that to either stop or will stop this evening to help with that. If there is any things and y'all have questions, please let us know. We'll investigate that as much as we can and try to correct anything that may be out. Again, this is just a different time, and we're learning as you're learning today. We were up late last night again with it. Again, early this morning, we went on with K-Win and again reading and again, and even today as things have come back with orders for the enforcements of that, which they'll talk about here later. So please continue to practice your safe practices, your social distancing, you're 6 foot away from each other if you are out, and if you do get out, to walk your dog, walk around the yard, yard work and things like that. It's still just if you're in a 3 or 4, just make sure you're apart. So again, we thank everyone for their hard work. Thank you for helping us comply with this and help us do that curve. It's not just us, it's everyone. We're all a part of this team trying to make this happen. So again, if you have any questions, info@dadecounty-ga.gov, and we'll have a question and answer here soon, and hopefully we can come through these. So I guess we'll have Tommy from the Dade County Sheriff's Office.
I think Ted was talking about some of the custody issue things. That's people's asking if they can come to the sheriff's office still and drop their kids off for exchange and stuff like that. All of that's normal. Just go about your normal essential things and you're okay. What we're trying to prevent is gathering of large crowds and hanging out in areas that you don't need to be hanging. Just go home, hang out there. If your routine is to exercise by walking, you can walk. There's nothing saying that you can't. Basically what they're saying is they don't want you gathering in large areas, and if you are going to go walk with another person, just make sure you maintain your distance. And then there's some other things going around that we're going to be harassing people by stopping them and checking to see what they're doing, where they're at. That's not true. We're just here to mainly continue to do the job we've been doing and assist the state in enforcing the stay-at-home order as much as you can. So there again, we really don't have anything other than that. There was a thing too that when the governor put in there that it made it sound like the only people that were going to be able to enforce this was going to be the state officials, such as your state patrol, your game wardens, your state health departments. He has re-signed a executive order that is stating that the sheriff's office do have the ability to enforce that. The cities were not mentioned, but will be getting sworn in, and once that happens, then of course they'll be able to do the same thing. So if anybody's got any questions, or if anybody feels they're being harassed by being stopped, feel free to call us, and we'll talk to you and kind of explain it more on one-on-one. I'm going to let Christy speak now from Trenton City.
Good afternoon. Just to reiterate a little bit of what Tommy said, he pretty much covered what I was going to say also. I have noticed that there's a lot of traffic out today. I think people are just trying to get in that last grocery shopping or that last pickup of some type before 6 p.m. today. Guys, things are not going to get where you can't go get your groceries. It's going to be fine. You're going to be able to go to the grocery store. I'm asking you to, just everybody take a step back, and our grocery stores are going to be open. Our pharmacy is going to be open. You can still go and get the things that you need. I hope that you're taking advantage of being at home, but we are going to be out here every day, all day, just like we always are, doing what we always do. And if you need our assistance, you're welcome to call our office. I'm in lieu of the governor's executive order. I hope that everyone will help us and cooperate. And we're all in this together, and we're going to get through it together. I know I speak for everybody in this room. We're all feeling the impact of this. I've got grandkids I'm not able to see, and just because of what I do and I'm out in the public, I want to keep them safe. So I know there's a lot of people that aren't getting to see their loved ones, but this will pass. My mother had surgery recently, a very serious surgery, and I just basically dumped her out at the hospital door, and then 4 days later got to pick her up at that same door. I didn't get to go in with her. I didn't get to care for her. And the reason I'm saying this is if someone in your family were to get sick and were to contract this virus, that person is going to be in the hospital alone. So if we follow these guidelines and we try to make it through these days and keep our social distancing and do the things we're supposed to do, maybe that can prevent that from happening, because that's not a good feeling. You know, you want to be there for your loved ones, and I would hate to know that my husband or child or a family member was in the hospital by themselves alone, suffering alone. I want things to get back to normal just like you do. We're just like you. So be assured, though, my department will continue to keep you safe and updated. If you need anything, please call us. We are out here. If you need something picked up that is a necessity, that you need your medicine, call us, let us do it. Limit your exposure, especially if you're a high risk or elderly person. We're already out here to assist our citizens, and we want to assist you. You can reach our office at 706-657-4111. You can go to our Facebook page, which is the Trenton City Police Department, or you can reach me by email, which is csmith@trentonga.gov. And again, you can call, ask questions, and there's no wrong question. We'll try to give you as much information as we have. Thank you.
My name is William Back, and I manage our Dade County Economic Development Office. I want to talk briefly about our industrial park, and I have a little piece of good news. Virtually all of our manufacturing that happens here in Trenton is part of our critical infrastructure. So we manufacture automotive parts and medical supplies and materials for construction, and all of those things will continue, and most of the people employed in the industrial park will continue to work there. So that's a little bit of good news. We are fortunate that our industries in the park are structured such that there's a lot of open space. So we will absolutely continue to have at least 6 feet of space between and among employees who are working there. Finally, if anyone has questions, I want to provide the email and a telephone number for us. Email is wback, that's WBACK, at dadecounty-ga.gov, and my telephone number is area code 706-657-8300. Any questions you have, I'll be welcome to, 7 days a week, anytime, you're welcome to give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, William. As I mentioned at first, when we started, I don't really care if you've got any questions that's come in, and just feel free to shoot those to Carrie, and we'll try to answer them for you. What you got?
The first question we have is, what about hotspots for schoolwork? Will those still be open? And we know that school's going to be out for spring break next week,
Correct.
but will those hotspots still be available?
Exactly, for the school, especially for the school and all others, all the hotspots, according to the phone company, they're going to be up and running. And so all through the spring break week and all the way through. And we do have those, as the superintendent had mentioned yesterday. I think White Oak, we have one at New Salem there at the community center, and the park, and of course here in the park here in the center of Trenton, Veterans Park, but also down at the sports complex. So yes, they'll all be available for anyone that needs the Wi-Fi access. Yep.
Okay, our next question is the track still open at the sports complex? Are county city parks open or closed, and what about the public pool?
Well, I can answer the county question, but the walking track, we're keeping it open where people can go, and as long as you follow the rules, 6 foot and 10 or less people there, no groups or anything, but you can still get out and enjoy the park, that part of it. But we do have, of course, all the ball fields and have the playground, where children play basketball. All that's closed. The only thing really open there is the park itself. Now, Alex, where Alex went to, he'll be back, and he can tell you more about the city park. And also, that is a question because the pool is supposed to be open before too long. I don't know what the date is, but he can give you an update on that in just a minute.
Okay. Can I go to work if I work in Alabama? Can I cross the state lines back and forth?
You can. Yeah, that's part of it as far as direct to working back. As also, to a doctor, anything like that, that is very critical, And so, that's definitely, that's not going to slow down anyone for work. So,
Here's the next one. Will hotels be closed?
Well, that's something right there that, you know, as far as the county is concerned, of course, we don't have any hotels in the county, but the city does. You know, they have actually a motel, and that's something that's being looked at right now. Not only the motels, but your bed and breakfast and your Airbnb and all that. You know, that's something right now that is being looked at. Some counties, a lot of the counties have actually completely closed all that to incoming, you know, people out of state, especially in sheltered states. So that's something that we'll be answering, be talking about, you know, first of the week, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Does my employee need a letter to come to work if I'm an essential business?
No, that's what I'm telling people is to, you know, it wouldn't hurt for the company, that person in charge of the company or whatever, to give them a letter. You know, they don't need a letter from the county, but possibly from that employer if you want to, just to be cautious about it, to give it to them, especially, you know, if they live in out of state or in another sheltered state like Tennessee, because they have passed that, I think yesterday or the day before, and the city of Chattanooga also. They actually capped that too, and I think they're even more stringent. So it wouldn't hurt to give that all your employees just on your letterhead or whatever, and explain to them that they will be traveling, you know, from Tennessee in or whatever. So that'd be a good idea. But you do not need anything from the county on that. No.
Okay. Will the lineman school continue to be closed moving forward until this is over?
I would say probably that's something we've talked about, and David and those people there, they're really good to work with us. And right now, you know, of course they did let out early, and I kind of doubt that they'll be starting their classes on time. But we're as you know, we don't know what this is, how soon this is going to actually curve and start back the other way. But by them bringing people from all over the country, you know, it's not just a southeastern thing. It's southeastern linemen. They come from New York and everywhere else. You know, I don't know. I can't say that right now for them. But we're working with them, you know, on this, and I would not be surprised if it's not delayed, just as our school systems, you know, when they come back possibly, then that would be agreeable for them to come back. So we just need. I'll keep you up to date on that, and we'll talk a little bit about it next week. Okay.
Okay. Is Georgia releasing inmates early?
The only thing as far as state inmates, I don't know of any of that, but now we didn't turn any of violent crime people out, but we have worked with the judges. Judges have worked with us and with Tommy and all, and you know, some of the people that we're in for simple things like child support, you know, just things like that. I think the judges have worked with them. They didn't get out of doing it, but I mean, they actually, you know, they didn't. They worked with them to get them out of the jail, because we needed to drop that population as soon as we could, because when all this happened, we were up close to 90, I think 88 or 90, you know, and we're down to what are we now, about 50? Yeah, so we're down to 50s, in the low 50s, yeah. So, and that's not just in Dade County. They've done that all over the state of Georgia. I'm sure Tennessee too, you know.
Okay. Is there a lockdown or a curfew that's going into effect?
Not at this point, no. There's not a curfew that I've read in this order, you know, as far as a curfew. But you know, you need to keep in mind what a travel, you know, ban is, and actually, because all these are good questions. But you know, yes, you know, if you are questioned, you know, you need to, you know, have proof or actually be going somewhere directly and back. You know, they don't. You know, this means, you know, you need to stay home. You need to be home, stay within your premises or in your yard or whatever. You know, but you know, if you're out traveling, you know, you're either going to the grocery store and back, going to the doctor and back. You know, you're not going to a reunion somewhere or a gathering out on one of the bluffs and have a bunch of, you know, that's what this is all about, is to stay home.
Okay, we have a couple more. Is there anything being done to ensure that essential businesses in the area are abiding by social distancing rules?
As far as enforcement?
Yes.
Well, that's something right now. After 6 o'clock tonight, you know, you're going to see a whole lot more, actually, what you would call, I guess, enforcement or observation of this. As far as, you know, I myself, you know, I mean, and Alex as being mayor, And, as far as coming up and even correcting anybody, I've not had to. I mean, I was out in front today, our tag office, yesterday, we noticed that, that we didn't have the 6-foot barriers up and all that, and I hadn't even, and people were out there talking just like normal, and I went out, and Angie brought it to my attention too, so we've got those marked off. But, I don't have a problem if I see, just nicely, mentioning people, because some people, it's not really in their mind yet to do this. And but after 6 o'clock, after this thing goes into effect tonight, you're going to have you'll have a lot of people with county and state government, be more observing. And I think Alex or Tommy mentioned this too. If you read this, the front people on this, as far as enforcement, is going to be the actual state patrol and the state DNR people, which are the game wardens and people of enforcement. So. The answer to that is yes. I say that. Yeah.
Okay. And the last one we have is pretty specific. It says, what about people who are camping and who are visiting from the area or visiting the area? Do they have to go back to their state where they live, their state of origin?
Here's what I had yesterday. The KOA up in north of us here called, and they had a few people there that were from sheltered states right now. That I think there may have been a couple from Florida or whatever. And their question was, now they've been there for a couple of weeks, and can they stay there until this is over, until this, and I told them, I said, well, the way, of course that was before we got this, but it really kind of says the same thing. But if they choose to stay there, they need to stay there, if not, they need to go direct home, fuel up and go straight back to their sheltered state, that's the way I look at that. And now, as far as how they're going to enforce it at the Cloudland Canyon, before it closes, I'm not sure. Not really. I know Tommy's been out and talked to some of the game wardens out there, and I'm not sure how after the night how they're going to enforce that, because you're going to have people there, and I'm sure there's people. I know there were Saturday several that's from sheltered states right now that are in the park camping. And whether they're going to go up and because really, they're in violation of their state law by being there. Now, if they left before that law came in effect, and they're here, those people here that were at the KOA. Evidently, they'd been there for a while. Then they're in violation of a law that's passed in their state. So, as far as I'm saying, concerned, they need to be told to go back home.
And that leads us to the very last question, which is, if there's someone here from out of state, how will that be enforced locally? So, is that the same answer?
Exactly. That's according to this. If you read it, it clearly states at the front the lead law enforcement or the lead enforcement is going to be state troopers and actually the DNR, and we're here to back them up. Tom and them's here, to back them up. Although they do have authority now to actually patrol our roads, our county roads, just as we said last night, and they do have an authority now by the governor to actually, question people that particularly are from sheltered states, and and if they're here just riding around or whatever, they have a right to nicely say, look, go home.
Well, that concludes our question and answer
Alex,
session.
I want him to come up and because you
Okay.
had a city question.
Oh, a city question,
Yeah.
that's right. So we had a city question about the city park and the pool. So will that be closed?
City pool is still closed. It don't schedule to open till Memorial Weekend, and we've had that discussion with Commissioner Powell. We're still a month and a half out on that, and we're going to wait till the 30 days is up on the April and reevaluate that. This is the time that they start cleaning and getting ready, but we're not purchasing chemicals. We are getting ready, if we have to, our snacks and things like that. So we'll make that determination once we feel it's best from public health and the CDC and all that. That's a big thing we discuss, because that is a big thing and something we do for our community that everybody likes. The pool is very enjoyable, so it's questionable right now, and we'll do what we best. And right now the city park is open, but we will be blocking off the children's playground equipment because we did it in the county, and that's why I had stepped out. Commissioner Powell and I have been back and forth today, and we felt that we help do the same thing in the city because it's touching and sliding, and people are on it a lot, and we feel we need to do that. So he is making that call, or we decided as a team to go ahead and close the playground, but still the walking trails around, keeping your distance. If you're there, yes, it's still open.
And then the last question we had for the city was, what about the motel? Will it be closed down?
I've seen that as well, and that's something we need to look in as well. To me, it's still it's read back in there if you're providing residence for someone, say they are traveling, trying to get home, and they break down, they need a place to go. As long as they're in their room by themselves and social distancing, I've seen that question as well. So, some people may be here working. A lot of times they do rent to long-term workers if the workers are here or held off for a while. So, we still want to provide, they need to provide that service if somebody was traveling to get home and needed a place to stay. So I really don't know what that, we'll find out.
Well, thank you so much for answering all of those questions. For those of you who have some questions that have already been answered, we'll reply to you in the comments.
Okay, and we do appreciate all of you working with us. We've had a lot of support on this, and it takes us all to work together on this, and we'll get through it. If you have any more questions, as Carrie said, contact her or whatever, but my number is 423-667-8999. It's posted on our website as all the commissioners' numbers, and just hope you have a good weekend and just try to enjoy it. And just remember tonight at 6 o'clock, that's when the governor's orders take effect, and so just try to abide by those. And like I said, just give us a call if we possibly can help you. We will, and we'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock unless something crazy happens, and we'll be right back on here. So thank you so much.